We can call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Barr.
Here.
Giovanini.
Here.
Eckhoff. Here. Callis.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Hauser.
Here.
Bradshaw. Here. Cranford.
Here.
Howard. Here. Willie.
Here.
Thank you. Well, we have a full house. This is really good. It's the first meeting of the month, and it calls for a meeting of the Civic Center Authority. There is no business before the Civic Center Authority, so we will adjourn that meeting and move right into the consent agenda.
I move for approval of the
Consent agenda? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Phil Callis, seconded by Scott. Roll call, please.
Barr.
Yes.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Cranford.
Yes.
Howard. Yes. Willie.
Yes.
Super. Okay, moving on to the regular agenda, item A, liability insurance cyber policy.
Yeah, so the cyber policy is always bid out separate from our regular liability insurance. Last year, Lloyd's London was our cyber provider. This year, Arthur Gallagher put out market bids for our cyber. On page 5, you could look through there and see who they submitted to. Some, if it says decline due to class of business, those were companies that didn't insure municipalities. Some just didn't respond. And in the end, we had bid from Houston and a bid from Beasley. Beasley's was cheaper, however, in speaking with Arthur Gallagher, they were only going to cover us in like a ransomware for up to like $100,000, whereas Houston was $1 million. And so they were like, you're going to get a way better value from the $10,113 policy versus the Beasley, which was $7,450. And so with the premium and the estimated cost, the recommendation, last year we paid $9,348. This year the bid would come in at $10,971 estimated cost. And that covers our cyber, theft, ransomware, hacking, those types of all of our cyber events. So with that, I would recommend that we approve Houston Casualty Company as our cyber provider.
Have we had incidents?
We have not had to make a cyber claim. We've had some things that Andrew's been able to fix, but unlike we're spyware type things, but I don't know if I should say that out loud. We have not had incidents.
Right.
I know.
Here, you want to?
So the $1 million is in this
Yes.
one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion by Mike, seconded by Kelly. Roll call, please.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Cranford.
Yes.
Howard. Yes. Willie.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're going to hear from Brian on Ewing Drive sewer extension.
The Ewing Drive sewer extension's been a little time coming here. If you remember, we have a sanitary sewer line which goes under I-55 out towards the hospital. And we had requests from Illinois Department of Transportation to sewer, and if they would be able to do that. We also had need at one time for our public safety complex out there for our sewer. So with all that coming together, we had Chamlin Associates design a lift station. The bids for that design were opened a couple of weeks ago. We did have multiple bidders, and Opperman Construction was the low bid on that project at $1,288,682. This would open up potential new development with sewer available for that if that were to come to be in the future, and would serve IDOT's building there as well. And I would recommend approval of this contract with Opperman Construction.
What were the other bids? Was there quite a variation?
Yeah, there is, yeah. There's a bid tab there in your packet. You can
Okay,
look at that.
okay. I move acceptance. Second.
Motion by Frank, seconded by Jerry.
I have one question, I'm kind of related. So if there is future expansion that needs to tap onto these lines, how will we establish any fees that have to be?
You're gonna have to pass a tap-on ordinance and cover an area like Bachnick's across the road and come up with a formula. The tap-on can be as large or small as you want, as long as it never exceeds the cost of installation.
So at what point would we have to do that?
I would probably do it sooner rather than later. I mean, you're letting the bid, and I assume we have the easements, we're good on our easement and our dig hole and all the good stuff, so, since we're gonna be, I don't know when the completion date is, before it's completed, and somebody needs to determine for me to draft an ordinance, a service area potential, because we can't designate something that's not possibly served by this. So maybe the engineer, that did this design work knows what it potentially can cover in those areas. Like when we did south of Torrance, we included the Meese farms out past Ray Street. Those were on the list, of course. They never did any development, but development's way more likely out where this is.
Yeah, we do have a generalized area that we feel would be served by this, so we can get that information.
Yeah, I think if you do that and put it on a map and pull the pins so that we can do it, I can do a draft ordinance, but I think you need to have a discussion about how you do it. We've had ones that were done per connection, we've had ones that were done per acre developed, and you just have to have a formula that can be applied by staff when somebody applies for a building permit and a permit to connect to this. And, we've never had one where we had a fees high enough to recoup all the costs. But certainly you have the right to recoup costs, you're fronting the money.
Good question.
Good question.
Maybe that becomes a tip.
So I would think it'd be one of those committee things sometime to talk about it and they give the map from Brian and then take a look at how much is affected and what you think development might occur. It's gonna be mostly fronting on 116, I would think.
Okay. With no other questions, we do have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Cranford,
Yes.
Howard. Yes. Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have the infrastructure grant. Jim
Yes.
has the info for us.
Just information, we were notified, there were utilized funds from another state program that they applied to various communities. And we were awarded $30,000 for infrastructure that will be administered by DCEO. And I would just, the 30,000 has to be a bondable project. So, for example, now a street overlay would fit, that type of a thing. So as we're looking at our next year's projects, we can fit in this $30,000 somewhere that could either help a project or maybe kickstart another one. So just letting you know that we were just notified of that.
A bonus
Yes.
from the state of Illinois.
Right.
I know it's hard to believe, so we'll look from there. Okay. City events update. We've got
Gary and Misty.
Misty, Gary, give us
Can I go first?
facts.
Go right ahead, ladies first.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
I guess my update, My update would start with, we had a really good farmer's market season that we wrapped up on the 26th of October. It's a really long season, June through October, and with all of the season-long vendors and the occasional vendors, we had over 25 signups. Gene Burnett and his sidekick Pam were great as our market managers as usual. And we found that it resulted in some great partnerships between some of our vendors and the brick and mortar stores for some pop-up locations. We did do the first trick-or-treating event downtown. We had 25 participating businesses with, I know one business counted and they had 160 plus kids the first hour, and we were told by several parents that we didn't know we had these stores down here. We'd never been in these stores. We'd never seen these stores. So a lot of the business owners heard that as well. So I'm going to try to keep this in order to go over what to expect for the holidays downtown, and so bear with me. Some of these events are ours or people that are associated with us, or just things that I thought were important to include. November 2nd through December 21st is the Saturday holiday markets at Pop's Pop-Up. They're open 11 to 5, and I know a portion of their sales are going to the last night fundraising initiative, so that's very nice. The Pontiac Area Chamber Business After Hours is very important. This week, it is Thursday. It's hosted by the Salvation Army as they kick off their kettle campaign this year, so it's at the Eagle from 5 to 7. Friday is the final day, tentatively, to sponsor a Winterfest tree. I logged number 70 right before the meeting. So really shooting for 100. That would be like the sweet spot. So I do have about 10 people who have not signed up this year that did sign up last year. So they'll get to see my face here soon as I go like pound the pavement if it's to stop raining, and then try to get those. So if you haven't sponsored a tree and you would like to sponsor a tree, please let me know. If you would like to sponsor a tree and do not want to decorate that tree, also let me know, because we have groups that would love to decorate that. More than likely, they just can't find the funds to do it. We have families that would step up to decorate, and we can make sure that your sign reflects that it was sponsored by you. We've had a couple that have done that, and that's really nice to be able to team those together. So the trees will be in place by November 20th and should be decorated by the 27th, and so we will be able to announce those during the light-up ceremony. This weekend, the 8th and 9th, is Downtown Pontiac's Holiday Open House. We have lots of businesses that are participating. They're all decorated for their open house. Like I said, with the partnerships between our vendors, I know Living in Color is partnering with Crystal Kitchen, who is one of our farmers market vendors, and so she's going to have a pop-up shop in there as well. So a lot of our farmers market vendors have reached out, the ones that have like baked goods or granola or like sustainable stuff like honey, things that people want on a regular basis. They want to keep coming to town, so that is very nice. November 17th is the monthly Rusty Wheel Circle Jam at the Eagle. November 20th, we have our monthly huddle at Lola's, and we will be announcing our parade grand marshal for our light parade this year. So that's pretty exciting. November 22nd is Bob and Ringo's second annual Stumble Run at 6 p.m. Last year they donated $6,500 to their charity of choice, so that's always a really good turnout. November 29th, the holiday tree lighting ceremony will take place at 5:30, with the light parade to follow at 6:05. And the theme that we chose this year with the voting is "We'll See You at the Movies Holiday Style." And we will be giving out prizes this year. We have judges that will be announcing our floats. We have judges. We'll give out 3 prizes. Santa will come to town that day, and I'm sure the ice rink will be open and be busy. November 30th is the Small Business Saturday, which is one of our best events downtown. We also will have pop-up gift wrapping at Market 59, which is a last night fundraiser that Anna is spearheading, and she has lots of volunteers. You can get your gifts wrapped for a donation. December 3rd is our Winterfest tree scavenger hunt kickoff with a shop late. If you remember last year, we did the scavenger hunt. This year we'll have multiple hunts, and we'll do a shop late from 5 to 7, and then we will do a winter mixer in Centennial Plaza at 7 p.m. And that is where we'll hand out the awards for the parade. Want to draw people to come back downtown, so that is in the planning stages. The scavenger hunt for the Winterfest runs December 4th through the 16th. They pick those up at businesses, return them to businesses and such, and so we'll have multiple hunts, so they'll have multiple times to be able to pick different ones and go do it. December 6th is the last night fundraiser, Breakfast with Santa, that Anna is in the works of getting that put together. December 12th through the 23rd, we have the 12 Days of Christmas, which really just means all the participating businesses will have open hours on every single day during those dates. December 14th and 15th, we have pop-up gift wrapping in the Market 59 shops as well. December 14th, I know that Edinger's is having an event that is Breakfast with the Grinch at the Eagle, the Livingston County Disc Golf Disc Crawl to raise money for United Way, and a spin for the scavenger hunts. We wanted to do hosted hunts, and those will take place in connection with the first annual Nathan Jornt Caroling Walk. This was his idea. He would like to have an event of caroling downtown. It is in the planning stages, but that will be 2 to 5, and I love when somebody has an idea and they want to do it and they have all that enthusiasm, so we're putting that together as well. And we do have a lot of good hosts for our scavenger hunt. I know the Wolfords are going to host. I know Kelly's going to host. I know Jamie's going to host. Authentic Church is going to host. And really just that means is you'll go to a host location and they'll go and hunt as a group, because last year I had a lot of ladies that loved the idea, but their friends didn't love the idea, so they didn't want to go by themselves, and they were like, it was cold, nobody wanted to go with them. So we're going to give people a chance to plan it and all go together. So December 15th is the Rusty Wheels Circle Jam again at the Eagle. We'll be doing a volunteer appreciation pizza party for all the volunteers that are helping with the last night events through the end of this year, and that will be at the Eagle as well. December 18th is our holiday huddle at Pop's Pop-Up Shop, and this is our monthly huddle, and we'll be giving out the gift cards like we gave out from the scavenger hunt last year. And December 21st, we have our Jingle Jog 5K. That's fundraising for last night. You can get tickets online now to run in the freezing cold, which I'm sure sounds fun for everybody. So that is December in a nutshell. So I'll be at my desk most days, Monday through Sunday, trying to get all these things planned, but it's exciting. Everyone's excited. I think that we got a lot to look forward to this holiday season. It's going to be very Hallmark-like down there. So any questions?
Do you have an oxygen tank at your desk?
Yes, I really will take one for sure.
Okay, all right, good.
What was the date on the Breakfast with the Grinch again?
That is the 14th. They have rented the Eagle for that, but I do know they sell tickets and
Great,
it's for
thank
the
you.
public. Sure.
Was the street closing supposed to be on our consent agenda?
It'll be on the consent
Okay.
agenda next council.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just knew it was in our stuff here, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is actually the 14th, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have anything to do with the incubator houses that are out there?
Those are the shops that we're using for the pop-ups.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone and the people that have asked, we're using them for the gift wrapping for the last night fundraisers. I know they use them for the skates during the winter, and any of the vendors that have said, hey, I need a date and this is the date I'm putting together a calendar just so that any dates are open. If people want to utilize them to come to town, I especially think that if they're coming to town as a vendor for the farmers market, they should get first dibs over somebody that just is like, hey, I want to set up down there, because they do pay to come to town and are trying to make those connections and network and business connections with customers locally. And they're investing a lot of their time and effort in trying to set up every week for 6 months straight. So we have been letting some that do that. I mean, they've asked, so there's some planned for the season.
Are those buildings all lit and heated?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my wife gave me a thought, and that was to approach the restaurants and have them do an intimate dinner for couples in those holiday dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, intimate, something like that, just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I know last year, one restaurant, used them for the hot chocolate during the ice rink times and stuff, so any chance to get somebody in them to be utilized, I feel like is not time wasted. It helps our downtown, it helps fill those shops, and when there's a lot of traffic for the ice rink, you're gonna have people that are right there. The Stumble Run is utilizing them, Bob and Ringo's are for like a mid-stop, and for people to watch the Stumble Run go through, like a lot of I think they're fundraising for a group at the school, so those people will be there, and so yeah, we wanna get people in there to use them while they're there, so absolutely, good idea. Your turn.
Thanks, Misty. Gary?
Good evening. We had the Fall Fest on the 26th out at the Oaks. Roughly, we tried counting as participants came through to vote for the People's Choice Award, and we kind of lost count. People decided not to vote. But rough guess was around 2,000 participants came out that day. If it wasn't the perfect day, it was as close to perfect as we could plan. Beautiful day, beautiful event. We had characters, train, hay rack rides, the trunk and treat. We had about 35 trunk or treat participants out there. And it's just a great day, and a lot of fun had by all. We had the inflatable games as well and stuff. So beautiful day for that. We had a couple, I think 3 food vendors and about 5 or 6 craft vendors out there that day. Some of the things coming up later this month, we are in the process of recruiting attendants for the ice rink. So if you know of anyone interested in evenings and weekend hours, send them my way. We will be hiring, recruiting, and training for that here in the next couple of weeks. So if all goes well, if everything cooperates, we're looking to do a soft open on that on the 22nd of November. Prep it, see how things go with the new synthetic ice. So some other things coming up, November 23rd, the day after that soft opening, is our junior high night. Where we're going to have basketball, volleyball, dodgeball. The pool will be open. We'll feed them pizza and give them some drinks, lemonade drinks, and that'll be from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Out at the Recplex. Some other things happen, or the Rec Center. Sorry about that. Other things happening at the Rec Center. January 4th from 6:30 to 9, we will have our Nerf night. So we'll have Nerf Wars, the pool will be open, we'll serve pizza again. That seems to be a popular food choice for our kiddos. February 1st is another popular event, Daddy-Daughter, from 6:30 to 9. The theme this year will be 50s sock hop. So daughters, get your poodle skirts and those things ready. We'll have a dance, photo booth, nacho bars, food, dinner, dancing, all that good stuff as well. And not to have that outdone, we'll have a mother-son event on March 8th, also from 6:30 to 9. We're still thinking on themes for that. So if you have any ideas, shoot them our way. But looking to have a bounce house, games, photo booth. Haven't settled on food as well with the moms and sons, but we're working on that at this point. So those are some things coming up in the next this month and the coming months.
Is the ice rink going to have set hours every week, every day?
Yeah, we will do set hours as we have in the past. The hope is that the day-to-day maintenance is a lot easier. I have spoke with the ice, the company that says that, or we purchased it from, and we've kind of got a maintenance schedule worked out where we either get a leaf blower and blow the debris off. Debris seems to be the biggest problem, so there will be cleaning before we open, cleaning midpoint on the long days, and then cleaning at the end. So there will be a little bit of a break that we're not used to in past, that we'll have at most a 15 to 30 minute break to clean everything off and make sure. That seems to be the biggest deterrent, or the thing that wears the synthetic ice down, is dirt and grime. So we need to keep that off there as best we can.
So if someone has their own skates, Can they go skate whenever they want to?
That's a good question.
Well, it's like.
When we
it's
had
a-
a regular ice, we did not allow that with, the liability of not having our staff on hand.
Why is it different than a playground equipment?
Well, I mean, I think just the fact that you're on skates that you brought, I think, well, even if you had our skates, I mean, we want to make sure that our people are there.
Do we have
Super-
someone monitoring the skate park at Fell Park?
We do not.
We don't. So
But
why
we-
is that different?
Well, the skate park, I think, is different, that it was built to withstand that, and if you have people in the, like tracking mud onto that ice rink, could cause some damage to it that we're gonna wanna make sure we don't occur any, big expenses on damage that we weren't aware of.
Okay.
So.
Are we gonna charge to rent skates?
Right now, there's been no discussion that I know of where, for that. It would still be free as it has been in the past.
Yeah, there won't be any charge this year on that. And
And
as
we're
far
gonna
as the
accrue-
hours go,
Yeah.
I think skating under the set hours would be great, but I don't think we can, I mean, there are lights, and when the lights are off, there won't be any skating.
Well, but during the day, there might be individuals
that's
that
true,
want to
yeah.
skate. I'm sure there's somebody's gonna ask,
Yeah,
you know?
well, I was thinking, I don't want to hear about what happened at 11:30 on a Wednesday or something up at the ice rink,
At
when they
night,
should-
you mean?
yeah, at night,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I was thinking daytime hours.
Yeah.
You know, that
But yeah,
people
we,
might want to.
I don't think we could condone night skating without, although we
It could happen.
did rent or have a fee for parties. So we could look into that too, but
That might be a good idea, though, for a night skate.
evenings would be when the lights are on and we're there. Other than that, no.
Gary, have you seen any studies on what sunlight does to that?
I haven't seen any. When I talked to the company, they didn't even, the big thing was dirt. Just the debris and making sure when people come up that you don't get on there with their street shoes. And that was a big thing. So we just, whenever we clean it, that's the big emphasis to our staff is make sure, you clean your shoes off as best you can and walk backwards if you have to. But,
Bowling alley.
that was the big thing is just make sure, because that gets embedded into it and is problematic and it dulls the color of it so it doesn't look as pristine and clean.
Stop spots.
One other thing to mention, while Gary's still up there, is that the staff at the Fall Fest out at the Oaks was exceptionally good. Parking, making sure everybody went through, the hay rides, everything. It was just really well done. I've had nothing but comments and compliments for the last week on how well it went and how much the people enjoyed it that were out there. And again, I just want to say, great job.
Thank you.
And
Kudos
the
to
whole
Jack
staff.
Bristow and his kids for the parking. They did a fabulous job.
Yeah, it was just great all the way around.
Gary, back to the ice rink. Do you get requests for private events?
We got a couple last year that wanted to do some things, and we did it prior to, I think it was during a weird time where we had them come in prior to our normal hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when we were talking about the lighting and the time, maybe after hour private events, and you can monetize that.
Right.
How do they recommend you clean that? Is it like leaf blower, you blow?
Leaf
it
blower's
off,
the
or-
best option. Plastic snow shovel, not a metal one. Get a
Can you use
plastic one.
water? Can you use any kind of?
You can use water, yeah. And, they sell detergents, but he goes, you can go to your normal everyday retail store and buy the same type of stuff if you need to. But typically you just need to kind of air blow everything off. And if you stay on top of it, and if we do it 3 times a day, he goes, that will help tremendously. So that, and if we need to clean it, we can clean it. Just kind of keeping an eye on it, knowing what it looks like when we put it down before anybody gets on it, and saying, okay, this is what we want to keep it at, and let's do our best to do that. And then when we start to see things, kind of get on it and embedded, then that's when we need to go out and clean it a little bit more, so.
Well, Gary, thanks again. Great job.
Thank you very
We
much.
appreciate all your efforts and what you got planned for the future. Okay, moving along, speaking of golf course, looks like we got to buy some chemical.
It's coming.
Shannon's gonna make it up here. Oh, he didn't bring his cart. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to present the 2025 chemical budget for the golf course. There should be some sheets in front of you kind of going over the numbers that I'm about to go over, and at the end, if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than willing to answer them. The cost of the chemicals in '24 were $59,510.60, and after the rebates we received this fall of $5,785.25, that number fell to $53,725.35. Now, over the last few weeks, I've been talking to Kyle Sherwood. He's the chemical rep for Heritage, which is who we've used since the city's taken over in '21. And he's kind of confirmed with me that the pricing is pretty much from '24 is going to stay relatively the same as '25, or as the prices in '25 are going to stay the same or close to what they were in '24. So, therefore, the fact of prices staying the same and the fact that we've had kind of a droughty end of the summer and into the fall, disease pressure hasn't been what you might normally find at this time. So I've been able to save some fungicides, more using wetting agents to kind of protect the golf course in the last month and a half than I've had to use fungicides. So that's kind of let me build a little supply that'll carry us over into next year. And you'll kind of see that in the pricings here shortly. Like I said, the main focus lately has been wetting agents, so hopefully it's raining now and when we get done. So, therefore, that being said, the quote for this year is $58,583. That's $927.60 less than last year. And when you add the rebates that'll come the fall of '25, of $7,351.66. That will drop the total in '25 to $51,231.34. That number is almost $2,500 less than we spent last year, which is a nice savings heading into the start of next season. So with your approval tonight, I would like to move forward and get these prices locked in so that we can be off to a good start for the '25 season when it comes to the maintenance department on the golf course. Now willing to take any questions you guys have.
I got a question, Shannon. What's the shelf life of that chemical that you can carry over?
If heated, multiple years, as long as and we have a built-in heater in both parts of the shed where my sprayer is, as well as the chemicals. So that hasn't been a problem at all. To be honest, when we took over in '21, there was a healthy amount of chemicals that I could navigate the first few years with what the Elks had left over. So shelf life's not really an issue, more just making sure that in the wintertime that that the building that they're in is heated is pretty much the only real concern when it comes to that.
How do we know these prices are reasonable? We have nothing to compare it to.
Are there other companies we can get quotes from? Or
Yeah, I mean, when the city took over in '21, I went with 3 other companies and presented with them, and Heritage was by far and away best bang for the buck. Be more than willing to do that again. I just didn't shop it because they've met my needs the last few years, and the prices have obviously only lowered since we're saving $2,500 from '24 to '25.
Well, typically we get bids on everything, and work through that way.
Sure.
And you did do that, 2 years ago, so. But there's a value to longevity and customer service too, which we've received very
Sure.
well, as I understand.
And I'm not locked into these guys. I've just assumed that since we've used them since I started, there was no need to necessarily shop around since we've kind of already created that, like the mayor said, created that relationship that we already have. But if you need to, going into 25, 26, if I need to get a few more bids, that's not a problem at all. I have plenty of contacts in the chemical community to make that happen.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. So, any other questions? If not, we need a motion to approve the expenditure.
Getting more bids.
No. I think we're going to stick with the company we have longevity with.
And the quality of the golf course, in my opinion, speaks for itself with the chemicals, but that's just my opinion.
I'll make the first motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Mike, seconded by Barb.
Can I
Roll.
have the amount again, please?
For 25?
58,000.
Yep, what was it? 58,583.
Okay, thank you.
You want the rebate number that will come with that or no?
That's fine, I just needed that.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Cranford,
Yes.
Howard. Yes. Willie,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, we have a report from the Infrastructure Committee.
The
Frank?
Infrastructure Committee met on November 29th. We discussed the SAD grant.
In the future.
October, yeah.
October.
Take me to the future again.
Oh,
I would recommend we make an edit to October.
well, I'll take care of that business later. October 29th. We discussed the facade grant for 103 North Mill, which we approved. And then Brian laid out a 5-year capital plan that we had discussed, and we adjourned.
Well, there is, we are reviewing Brian's 5-year plan, and at the next council meeting, if we have any additions, views, whatnot, we should bring them to that meeting and set up further infrastructure business. The plan was quite detailed, and as you most of you might recall, we had a 5-year plan last year, and if you compare the two together, you'll see substantial differences, and priorities are very similar, but I think it's going to take more than a day or two to review the whole thing. Plus, I'm sure each council person has a street or two in their ward that they would like to see more activity done with. I've already heard from 2 that thinks that we're missing the boat on a couple, so we're looking forward to it. And like with most things, you know, we need to put the plan together to make it work. But Brian and the staff that he had did a great job and continues to do a great job.
So need the motion.
So the council had given that committee the authority to approve
Right.
those facade grants.
Yeah.
In the past, if you remember, they used to be approved by Proud, and so the infrastructure committee had that approval, and this
Right.
was and this facade was also a previously approved, updated one that had been on hold due to the Stillwell project.
So it was kind of grandfathered into us, but revamped, so, thank you. Okay, moving on. Item G, Madison Street.
The RFP from
yeah.
Madison Street, just to let you know, we did not receive any proposals for our Madison Street building. And so we'll go back to the drawing board, I'll take a look at that RFP and see if there's anything glaring in it as to why we haven't received any bids. But That'll be a decision on, what you want to do with it next. We want to re-extend an RFP. In the meantime, for that building, throughout December, the Salvation Army does their angel tree that we can let them use that front to put together their packages. And I had them wait until we found out what the RFPs were looking like, but we don't have any right now, so it'd be a good opportunity for community service work inside that building.
Okay. I am surprised that we didn't get some interest, because prior to it going out, there seemed to be quite a few people that were talking.
Yeah, I had some contact me about service businesses they wanted in there. The RFP was pretty specifically oriented toward retail, and, that's something that we can have a discussion on whether there's any change in what we're gonna authorize to buy, so I'll put together some more information.
Help me understand how the RFPs are exposed. How do we market that?
So that, we put it in the paper, and it's been on our website for, it was over a month when we put it up, and then there was a news flash, and I just kept renewing it to where it was on the front page of the website all the time rather than falling off. And so word of mouth as well. I spoke to a number of developers and let them know that we had it. So
can you put the developers on a mail list, and when you have these RFPs, just blast them a quick piece about your RFPs?
Yeah, I mean, we can for sure try, and I guess it all depends for them too, what they're developing. This one would have been specific, not necessarily a contractor per se, but more somebody who was interested in opening up a business.
Yeah,
and,
it's hard to.
Of course, it's going to require a little interior redesign, but that was the point. Was we left it open so it could be fashioned the way an owner wanted it. So.
And we want to attract as much retail as we can to the downtown community. Moving on, it says mayor's comment. I guess what I wrote down here first is, if you haven't, tomorrow is your day to vote. So we should make sure we get out and get our votes turned in. My understanding from what I hear from the courthouse is we may have elapsed or quadrupled the number of early votes that we've ever had already. So I read something or heard something on TV that so many millions of people have already voted, and so that doesn't mean that it's going to go faster, is what the next comment was. So, but make sure we do get out and vote. On that same subject, I approached Tom Bennett to come to the city council meeting sometime over the next 2 months. He's not rerunning and everything, but Tom, our state senator, has been quite an asset to us at times. So I told him we'd like to have him come by and say goodbye and wish him well in the future, this kind of thing. So, and I'm sure everybody got the same email that I got on Sammy Basso, the young man who died recently. I remember the day he was here, and it just doesn't seem that long ago, but time does fly. And really, that's about it for right now for me. Council comments.
The housing survey is up and live, and Amy reported today that she's already had 62 people respond, which she was pretty excited about that because the postcard hasn't even gone in the mail yet. So anyway, spread the word to people that it's available to be answered.
Maybe part of that is because it was on the newsletter that went out.
Yeah,
and go ahead and scan it, because I did this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's on the Facebook page.
Right.
She's got some stuff out on it, so. That's
More
good.
information we get, the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something. I'd like to thank Gary and his crew again for an outstanding job for Fall Fest. Very, very nice. There were crowds. I mean, there was crowds for the magician, for the balloons, for the bounce houses, which just really amazed me. That they were that long. And the hay rack rides, they just kept going till after dark. So well done, well done. And I'd like to thank Chris Brock too. He took care of a situation I've been dealing with for a couple of months on North Chicago Street, and I thank you for those parking signs. It's appreciated. There'll be one less phone call.
Any other comments? If
I
not,
will have a drawing
yes.
for the bus cover
Oh,
by
good.
the next meeting. At that point, we'll send it up for approval. If it comes back approved, we'll go out for material quotes. We'll go out for fabrication quotes, and erection quotes. We need them. My estimate is that we'll take a crew of 3 people a week to put it together.
As long as you and I aren't part of the crew, I think they can go fast.
That's right, we will not be part of the crew.
All right, yeah.
You can point.
Oh, there's part of the crew right there. All right, thanks. City Administrator.
Yep, I also just wanted to give a thanks to the staff that we've had a busy month. Chris and Jake have really put Brian in a great spot with that 5-year plan, and Brian's plan is very comprehensive, and it covers not just streets, but paths and ADA, and it's a nice comprehensive look at our infrastructure program. Public safety's been busy as well. I know that if you look at your updates, police department had a busy month, and fire department has got a lot going on as well. Next week, the 11th, is Veterans Day. That's the city holiday. And I always, at our staff meetings, we push some safety in this month. We're pushing back safety with the coming winter. Pushing, pulling is a good time probably for everyone to think about what they're doing before they're tweaking their back and hurting themselves. So it's when it's a 2-man lift, use 2 people.
Okay. Public comments? Oh, no comments? Okay. With that, have a great time, and we need a motion to adjourn. Several? Okay. We are adjourned.
Let's go to work.
Thank you.